Hello again, friend. Uh, Today I want to talk about uh, the persistence of prayer, or how to be persistent in prayer. Many times people think that if you pray about something more than one time, then you don't have any faith. And that's not the fact, and that's not the truth, because um, even Jesus on one occasion, um, he didn't just, when he laid hands and prayed for one man to receive his healing for his blindness, the man was not completely healed. And he said, well, how do you see men? He said, I see men as trees walking. And Jesus prayed again, and the man received his sight. So to pray more than one time does not necessarily mean you're not believing God or you're not in faith. But on the other end, we want to look at the persistence of prayer, and how to be persistent in prayer, and how to continue and to stay there until the answer comes. God does not want us to give up and say, well, forget it, he's not going to hear me. And no, he wants us to stay there. And many times he wants us to stay there, and we have to learn to wait on him. Isaiah chapter 40 says, they that wait upon the Lord. Many times we're waiting on the thing that we're praying for. You know, if I'm praying for a new car, I need a car. Many times we're waiting on God to do that. But no, we have to wait on the Lord. And when we wait on him and he comes, then he'll work everything out concerning the car. So we wait on the Lord, and when we wait on the Lord, many times it's his timing. Ecclesiastes chapter number 3 declares that to everything there is a time and a season to every purpose under the heavens. And on down it says that God makes all things beautiful in his time. See, it's not in our time when we want him to do it. Because we always want it to be done now. We want God to answer our prayers yesterday. That doesn't always work that way. But we need to remember this, that he makes all things, and everything turns out, and he makes all things beautiful, but it has to be in his time. So we want to talk about persistence in prayer for a few moments. Luke 18 and 1. Luke 18 and 1, the 18th chapter of Luke, the Bible declares that men ought always to pray and not to faint. In other words, men ought always to pray. When we look at that word always, that word always means a set time, a fixed time, or a proper time. You know, whenever we're praying and whenever we want to be persistent, we need to have a set time. You know, many times when we, you know, it's not when we leave God, we'll give you time, you know, whenever I can find time to do so, I'll pray. No. We have to set a time, because many times our days can become so busy until when you turn around, the day is over with and we haven't done anything. We haven't prayed, we haven't asked God anything the whole day. But if we set a specific time with him, now, however long you want to pray, that's between you and God. If it's 5 minutes, if it's a half hour, if it's however, that's up to you and God. But the main thing is that you set a time. So it's a set time, and then it's a fixed time and a proper time. You say, well, give me Bible for that. Well, Daniel prayed 3 times a day. He had a set time, he had a fixed time, and a proper time. He prayed 3 times a day. And so it's very important as it comes to the place of being persistent that we set a time, a fixed time, a proper time, and a proper time. Now, Jesus in Luke chapter 18 talks about a widow woman that went before an unjust judge. He gives a parable, and he says that there was a widow woman that went to the unjust judge, and the Bible said that this unjust judge, he did not have any regard for God nor man. And she went to him with one request and said, avenge me of my adversary. That was her only prayer. But now notice, when she went to him, the Bible says that the unjust judge would not for a while. Now, it didn't say that he could not, because he had within his power the ability to avenge this woman or to give her her request. But he would not for a while. But you know what she did? She kept coming. Jesus was emphasizing that when it seems like no is the answer. I'm not going to stop, but I'm going to continue going again and again and again and again. You'll be surprised the things that happen when you keep going again. Even in the natural, using a natural analogy, if you keep going for a position on a job, and you go and they say, well, no, we don't have any position openings. And then you go again and again and again and again and again, and finally, they can, the person that's working in the office even come, oh, there you go again. You make an impression. And if you're not, and if you make an impression, and sometimes it can be good, or sometimes it can be an annoying impression where, listen, they'll go in and call the boss. This person keeps coming and he's not going to stop, so can you? And that's what happened in the story that Jesus was giving about being persistent. The Bible said that the unjust judge said, lest this woman weary me with her continual coming. With her continual coming. It was a continual coming to him. She didn't take no for an answer. She said, avenge me of mine adversary, and he would not. She went back again, avenge me of my adversary, and he would not. Avenge me of my, and she kept coming. She kept coming. And Jesus says this, and shall not God avenge his own elect which cry day and night? I tell you, he shall avenge them speedily. Now, the unjust judge God is not like the unjust judge in this parable. That's not what Jesus was portraying. But what Jesus was saying is that just in the natural sense, this unjust judge gave this woman her request because she continued to be persistent. Well, how much more God? God will give us what we ask him for if we continually come. And not have that old adage that, well, if I pray more than one time, I'm not believing God. No. He wants us to be persistent at times. So friend, remember this. Be persistent in prayer. Thank you.